So you've been to 52 countries, which I think it's a good number. 52. It's not small. So you may have some favorite destinations. Is there any 2 or 3 you want to name and provide us the rationale?
Always such a hard question because I'm always so influenced by the last place I've been to.
Yeah.
But thinking about, I mean, I guess I do have having backpacked around Latin America for 18 months. I still have a sort of a strong love of Latin America and Latin American culture. And of course, Spain, ties into Latin America in a big way, having, been in Spain quite a lot. And after backpacking around Latin America, and that's where a lot of the 52 countries come from, because I've visited, a good chunk of the countries in Central America and South America, so that they add up when you visit those continents. I did find myself returning to South America quite a lot, and especially Colombia. I spent nearly 3 months in Colombia in the back with the backpacking, the first trip, and I've been back to Colombia 3 or 4 times since. I made a good friend over there, an American friend who set up a hostel. So I'd always go back and stay with him in the city of Cali, which is the capital of salsa. If anyone knows Colombia, it's salsa dancing, and kind of salsa kind of burst out of Cali in the sort of 50s and 60s. So I found myself going back there because I think Colombia is the thing I like about Colombia is it has a lot of, it's very diverse. You have the sort of the Caribbean coast. You have the coffee zone with some brilliant trekking and the coffee culture. You have some cosmopolitan cities in Medellin, for example, and Bogota is rich in history and colonial architecture. There's a wide variety there, and of different parts to the country. Plus, the people are very friendly, and they're very sort of fiesta party type people with the salsa. They're very friendly. Fun people. So Colombia for sure, and I think there's a lot you can do in Colombia. And I think since I first went there in 2007, I think was the first time I went. It's a lot more travel. It was quite travel friendly then for the backpacker, but I think since then a lot more people go there, aren't put off by government warnings and things. And subsequently, then the civil wars ended. That has subsequently happened since. Colombia, Mexico. So going back, to Latin America, Mexico, I've been to 4 or 5 times now. I love, again, it's a fantastic country. The people are so warm. The food's amazing, really good, and the different parts to it in terms of the coastal regions. And Mexico City is an amazing capital. Very diverse city, very diverse. It's some of it's very gentrified, some of it is definitely rough around the edges, but there's a very strong feeling of Mexico and culture in Mexico City. And I'd say the third place would have to be Spain, because I think that's where my books are set. I've been back there a lot. It's the culture of family there is very strong. I suspect not too different to Portugal in that sense, in terms of family and friendship and fun. And the food, for me, I love the food.
Yeah. Any non-Spanish speaking country? Just to have something different on the plate.
Yes, let me think. What has been a country that I've loved that was a little bit different and not non-Spanish speaking? That's a good question. I mean, I've traveled quite a bit in Asia. I think India. I would say India is. I think, how would I put it? I thought I was a sort of an experienced independent backpacker until I went to India, and that was a whole another level of travel and backpacking in terms of traveling independently. It was hard at times. It was challenging, but at the same time, it was so rich. There was so much to see and do, and it's a very regional country. Very different in a lot of the different, especially the north compared to the south. Every day is interesting. Every day is noisy and loud and unexpected if you're in one of the major cities, or you just learn a lot as well. You learn a lot. And so, I've been talking about a Spanish-speaking country. I'd spent a month in Cuba in the past, and that was quite an interesting place to visit independently. But then you go to somewhere like India, and it's just all your senses are alert. Whether it's the food, the smells of a city, the colors, everything's kind of. Yeah. And so I would say, you haven't backpacked until you've been to India, and just like riding the trains and getting your head around the timetables and why a train is not moving for 12 hours and you're stuck on a train, and then arriving in the middle of the night somewhere and there's nowhere to stay. It's a challenge, but it's a real experience. And of course,
So,
there's lots of different languages in India, obviously, in terms of the different dialects and languages across the country.